When I got elected, actually, I had Roger, Rafa, Novak and Andy, all four of them, they were in the player council. I have to say I have a lot of respect for that. The ATP was born in 1972 as a players-only association, and around in 1990 the ATP Tour was formed. So players invited the tournaments into what is called today ATP Tour. And the governance, simply put, is a 50-50 partnership between players and tournaments. So we currently have 4 player representatives in the board, we have 4 tournament representatives, and myself, the chair of the board. Every big decisions at the ATP are made in a supermajority vote, which implies you have to have 2 votes from the players and 2 votes for the tournament. So overall, no big major decision at the ATP is taken without the consensus of both sides. Obviously, there are pros and cons of that. Both sides are extremely protected, but the counter to that is that, it requires both to be in agreement. And sometimes that does block the decision-making process in terms of timing. So a lot of the time I get criticism of this is a decision which is tournament-friendly, this one is player-friendly. As a matter of fact, I hear from both sides, hey, every decision is going, in favor of the tournaments. That's what I hear from the players. I hear the exact opposite argument from the tournament side. And look, that's the nature of our organization, that's how it is. It is very difficult, but the supermajority provides protection because you go through a process of consultation with the tournament and the player council. I started as a chairman in January 2020, and since then I've never casted the vote one way or the other, mostly because the strategic plan that I've presented required a supermajority vote for approval. So there is other type of less important decisions that require simple majority. In that case, the chair could be casting a vote, but has not been the case in the last 4 years. The Players' Council is a body of 10 players which are voted by the wider player group, and those 10 players actually elect the 4 player representative that together with the tournament representative actually elect the chair. So it's a very democratic system. Their main role is twofold. One is to elect the people who will ultimately make decision, and that's a very important process. Select the best people with the right skill set and the right experience. And secondly is to provide the direction and the feedback. The challenge is obviously you cannot make every single feedback into a reality, into something that also gets approved by the counterpart, because the tournaments on their side, they have the exact same process. You have the tournament council representing all tournaments. That's why empowerment ultimately is key. They have to elect their representative, they have to trust them that they're doing the best job in their best interest, in the best interest of the ATP. And mostly you need to be capable of looking at the bigger picture, like, are we going in the right direction? Have improvements been made in the last 3 to 4 years? It's actually impressive how some of those players have committed their own time to these issues. And I've been very honest, as a player, I wasn't engaged at all. I hardly knew my representative in the council. I wasn't interested at all. That's on me, my bad. When I got elected, actually, I had Roger, Rafa, Novak and Andy, all 4 of them, they were in the player council. So I get into this room and I remember, during my days, I don't think the top players were as engaged as they are now, and they have been in the last few years in the business and the politics of tennis and the sport. I just felt it was incredible, and especially during COVID, we had so many calls, long calls about debating what we should be doing. Should we go back? Should we not go back? The bubble and the prize money cuts, very, very difficult decisions. And to see those guys at that level, obviously, which they're already so accomplished and they have accumulated wealth and they could be doing other commitment with sponsors. So I have to say I have a lot of respect for that, respect for the guys like Novak, Roger, Rafa and Andy. They have committed their own time. Of course, it's also difficult, as I said before, for them sometimes to understand the other side, the tournament side, the business side, and to focus on the fans.